This year marks the 3rd anniversary since the launch of the ROG Strix SCAR gaming laptop, and this has been one of the most popular choices among gamers in the market due to its powerful components, gaming-focused features, and price positioning. Now, after 3 generations of design and component refreshes, ROG has dropped the generation number in favor of the screen size for the naming postfix. Since the review sample we got here has a 15-inch display, the full name of this model is ROG Strix SCAR 15. Now, pretty sure this is the typical Asian management's decision to avoid the number 4 in the product name. However, I see it as a missed opportunity to give it the tagline SCAR for life. Despite the new name, the chassis still remains the same from its previous generation. You still get this underglow RGB, and the hinge still opens at about 120-degree angle. Now the lid is aluminium and the ROG logo still lights up, as you can see here. Now, unlike the Zephyrus series, which has a blackout design, this overall design is pretty much RGB, and of course it is still made of plastic. Now, don't really worry about the plastic build and everything because it is pretty solid in this sense. The ROG Keystone feature is still here. Now, this Keystone is a NFC tag that is enabled via this reader over here. So whenever you put in the Keystone, now they call it Keystone 2, the laptop will detect the NFC tag and then enable part of the features that you have enabled inside the Armoury crate, such as you can enable sort of different gaming profiles or launch a game when you put in this specific keystone. So that means you can actually purchase a couple of these keystones and then keep it and do whatever different features and stuff you want to do. And of course, now you can also set that whenever you remove the keystone and to lock the windows or anything. However, I see this feature as a half-baked feature. I know now the Keystone 2 has more configuration you can do compared to the previous generation, but let's just take this as an example. I can remove the Keystone and then lock the windows. However, there is no function for you to say that if I put in the Keystone and then it will unlock Windows. So that simply means that this NFC tag is not part of the Windows Hello ecosystem. For whatever features you want, I believe that the most important feature of the ROG Keystone is the shadow drive function. Basically, if you have the Keystone sorted into the body of this Strix SCAR, you can actually access the hidden drive inside your SSD inside it. So you can keep whatever files you want over there. Some users actually complained about the missing number pad because ROG Strix SCAR 3 decided to drop the full-size number pad all the way. Love it or hate it, I think this numpadless layout is better in terms of ergonomics. Besides, you still get this virtual numpad on the trackpad. It is pretty useful when you want to input some numbers or do some calculations. If you really do a lot of number inputs for your work, perhaps you can consider get an actual number pad, physical number pad, or an external keyboard. As for the display, there are 2 display options available for the ROG Strix SCAR 15, 300Hz and 240Hz. The 300Hz display is only available if you choose the highest configuration, which has an RTX 2070 Super. Our mid-level configuration sports a 240Hz 15.6-inch IPS panel with 1080p Full HD resolution. The display is excellent for gaming, and it has also 99% of sRGB color gamut coverage. That should be good enough for your basic color work. Just that you need to color calibrate it to make a full use of its capabilities. There are 3 different configurations for the Strix SCAR 15, and our review sample is the mid-tier option that comes with 240Hz display and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2070 graphics. In terms of raw performance, we can rest assured that you will at least be getting a powerful system that could handle games as well as some of the productivity applications. The Intel Core i7-10875H might be overshadowed by the Ryzen 7 4800H. Nonetheless, it is still a very good CPU for gaming. That said, the gaming experience is smooth and we can easily overachieve more than 60 FPS on average, even on the AAA titles such as Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Mind you that we tested all the games with the highest graphical settings. As for the thermal performance, I'm very disappointed, especially with Asus promised great cooling capabilities with their decision to use the Thermal Grizzly conductor knot liquid metal thermal compound. Sure, the maximum CPU temperature never went past 98 degrees Celsius while gaming, unlike the Dell Gaming G5 which can go for 105. But on average, we're still talking about 90 degrees Celsius on the CPU side. I strongly believe that is because of this bottom chassis design. Basically, there is no breathing room for the cool air to go into the cooling fan. Now, just take a look at the comparison between the SCAR 15 and the Zephyrus S15. The Zephyrus is almost 10 degrees cooler than the SCAR 15, just because the Zephyrus has an opening to allow more cool air intake. Yes, I know the Zephyrus S15 is way more expensive than the SCAR 15. It's about 3,000 ringgit more. But my point is, if you choke the fans, no matter how awesome the thermal compound or how good the heatsink or the fan is, ultimately you will sacrifice the cooling performance and the noise. Now, speaking of the thermals and everything, upgrading the ROG Strix SCAR 15 is quite easy. Removing the bottom chassis only requires some attention because the bottom LED strip is connected by two ribbon cables. So make sure you don't yank it out the moment you unscrew. So there are 2 RAM slots and 3 M.2 slots for users to upgrade. Remember, we mentioned this basically is a SCAR 3 chassis. Previously, the SCAR 3 supports a single M.2 drive and one 2.5-inch drive. Now they have replaced the 2.5-inch drive in favor to 2 extra M.2 slots without redesigning the chassis. That explains the wasted space at the corner. You can also upgrade the Wi-Fi card if you want. However, since the SCAR 15 is shipped with Wi-Fi 6 by default, I don't think you have to do anything with it. As for the battery, a single full charge of the 66 Wh internal battery is able to provide us with about 5 hours of real-world usage. Our testing was conducted with balanced battery profile while using the Intel iGPU. Basically, for web browsing and light usage, that is a decent battery life, especially for a gaming system. So, ROG Strix SCAR 15. I have a rather mixed feelings when it comes to this particular laptop. I appreciate them updating the configuration of this laptop, such as offering 300Hz for the highest option, and as well as removing the 2.5-inch drive in order to support triple M.2 drives. However, there are limitations to the old chassis design, that's why the wasted space. I'm not saying the build quality is bad, after all, because if the quality is bad, they won't be reusing it, right? My point is, despite the use of the liquid metal thermal compound, it hardly solves the thermal issues simply because the bottom chassis is choking the fans. The components are great and we had a smooth gaming experience on this machine. I certainly hope Asus will look into this design and find out some solution for it. Focus on giving extra breathing room for the fans. For now, if you don't mind, you can either choose to use the performance profile in the ROG Armory crate, or otherwise you can always prop your laptop up while gaming. All in all, at the official price of 7,999 ringgit Malaysian for this particular configuration, the closest competition should be the Acer Predator Triton 500. The SCAR 15 wins hands down with its specifications. So, if you're in the market looking for the best bang for the buck gaming laptop at 8,000 ringgit budget range, the ROG Strix SCAR 15 should be at the top of your watch list. So that's all we want to say about the ROG Strix SCAR 15. Let us know what do you guys think about this laptop in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video.